recovered from the Absol archives. Entry number 17.
I didn't buy the security camera because I was paranoid. I bought it because my landlord kept dropping by without warning. He'd knock once, then use his key like it was normal. He always said it was a mistake, always apologized, always had some excuse about checking smoke alarms or reading the meter or verifying the door latch. After the third time, I ordered a cheap indoor camera online, one of those plug-in ones that sits on a bookshelf and connects to your phone. The listing promised motion alerts, night vision, cloud storage, two-way audio, and a sticker that said, "Smile, you're on camera." I put it on my front door anyway. Not because it would scare anyone off, just because it made me feel like I'd taken back a tiny piece of control. That night, I set the camera on my living room shelf, facing the hallway that led to my front door. The view was perfect. It caught my entryway, the hallway, half the living room, and the edge of my kitchen. I opened the app and watched myself walk past it like I was someone else. I tested the motion detection. Alert popped up instantly. Motion detected 9:41 p.m. It felt normal, reassuring. I went to bed thinking I'd finally stop jumping at small noises. At 2:03 a.m., my phone buzzed. I thought it was a spam text. I rolled over, squinting at the bright screen. Motion detected 2:03 a.m. The app showed a thumbnail. The hallway. Empty. I tapped it. The live feed opened. The apartment looked exactly how it always looked at night, dim, grainy, slightly blue, from the camera's night vision. Nothing moved, no shadows, no door handle turning, no landlord. I waited, held my breath. The feed remained still. Then the motion alert updated. Motion detected 2:13 a.m. 10 minutes later, I frowned, confused. The camera was facing the same hallway. If something was moving, I'd see it. I scrubbed to the recorded clip for 2:03. It was 13 seconds long. It showed my hallway. Empty. Then halfway through, the view shifted slightly. Not the camera moving physically. The framing changed like someone had nudged the phone screen. Then the clip ended. No person, no sound. Just a subtle adjustment. Like the camera had blinked. I told myself it was a glitch. Cheap hardware, cheap app. I put my phone down and tried to sleep. At 2:07 a.m., it buzzed again. Motion detected 2:17 a.m. I sat up. Now I was fully awake. Now I was annoyed. I opened the clip. Still empty. Still the same hallway. But this time there was something on the floor near my front door. A small shape. I leaned closer. It looked like a key. Not my keys, not my keychain. A single loose key lying on the tile. I stared at the screen. Then I looked at my real hallway. From my bed, I could see the corner of it, dark. No key visible from where I was. I got up slowly, like the movement might set off a trap. I stepped into the hallway, turned on the light. The floor was clean, no key, nothing. My heart started beating faster, not from fear yet, more like confusion turning sharp. I went back to bed and watched the camera feed. At 2:10 a.m., the hallway and the live feed remained empty. No key. At 2:13 a.m., the feed updated. A new clip. This one had the key. Exactly where I'd seen it. I checked the time. The notification read, "Motion detected 2:23 a.m." I looked at my phone clock. It was 2:13 a.m., 10 minutes earlier. I stared, waiting for my brain to correct it. It didn't. The timestamps didn't match reality. The camera was ahead. I watched the clip again. At the end of the 13 seconds, the key wasn't there anymore, like it had been picked up. or removed. I didn't sleep after that. I stayed in bed watching the live feed, waiting for my hallway to do something it had already done on the screen. At 2:23 a.m., my phone buzzed. Motion detected 2:33 a.m. I almost laughed. It felt absurd now, like a prank. But when I opened the clip, my front door handle moved. Just a slight turn, a test. Then it stopped. The clip ended. In my real hallway, the door stayed still. No sound, no movement. But my stomach dropped anyway, because I knew what was coming. 10 minutes later, at 2:33 a.m., the real door handle turned. Exactly like in the clip. Slow, careful, like someone trying not to make noise. The latch clicked softly. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Then the handle returned to neutral. The door didn't open, just checked, like someone confirming something. I sat there in the dark, gripping my phone so hard my fingers hurt. The camera buzzed again. Motion detected 2:43 a.m. I opened the clip immediately, and there I was. Me. Standing in my hallway, barefoot, holding my phone up at face level. The angle was high enough to show my whole upper body, the pale shape of my arms, my head tilted slightly toward the camera. The clip showed me turning toward the front door. Then it ended. My blood went cold. I checked the time. 2:33 a.m. The clip was time-stamped 2:43 a.m. 10 minutes ahead. It was showing me doing something I hadn't done yet. I was still in bed, still sitting, still staring. But the footage was confident. It wasn't a prediction made by guesswork. It was a recording. I looked at the hallway. Nothing. Then I felt an awful crawling certainty. In 10 minutes, I would stand up. I would walk out there. And I wouldn't remember choosing to. I set another test. I went to the kitchen and grabbed a glass. I placed it on the counter carefully. Then I moved it again. I wanted something obvious, something unmistakable. I returned to bed and watched the camera feed. At 2:37 a.m., the live feed looked normal. At 2:39 a.m., my phone buzzed. Motion detected 2:49 a.m. I opened the clip. The view showed my kitchen edge, and the glass on the counter was already knocked over, water spreading slowly across the surface. Then, in the clip, I walked into frame. Not running, not panicked, just walking. I reached down, picked up the glass, and set it upright again. The clip ended. I checked my kitchen. Glass still upright. No spilled water. Then I waited. At 2:49 a.m., the glass fell. It toppled exactly as the clip showed. Water spread. The sound of it hitting the counter made me flinch like a gunshot. I stood in shock. Because now it wasn't just about a door handle or a missing key. Now it was physical, repeatable, proven. I cleaned up the spill with trembling hands, and as I did, another notification came in. Motion detected 2:59 a.m. I didn't want to open it. I did anyway. The clip showed my hallway. Me again. Then he's standing under the camera, facing it, holding my phone, but this time my head lifted like I was looking at something above me. And then I smiled. Not a normal smile. Not even my smile. The corners of my mouth rose too slowly, too evenly, like someone had practiced it. Then the clip ended. I stood in my kitchen staring at the real hallway, feeling like there was a string tied around my spine. At 2:50 a.m., my phone buzzed. A call. Incoming call, unknown. My throat tightened. I didn't answer. The call stopped. Then a text appeared. No number, just text. "You're late." I typed back without thinking. Who is this? 3 dots appeared like someone was typing. Then, me. My hands went numb. Another motion alert popped. Motion detected 3:09 a.m. I opened it. The clip showed my front door opening, wide, slow. The hallway beyond it was dark. Empty building corridor. Then something stepped into the doorway. At first it looked like a shadow. Then it leaned into the camera's view, and I realized it was shaped like a person. A tall figure with arms slightly too long, shoulders too narrow, head tilted. It didn't enter. It just stood at my threshold, as if waiting to be invited. The clip ended. My phone clock read 2:59 a.m. I looked at my real front door. Still closed. Still locked. My hands shook so badly I dropped my phone onto the carpet. I scrambled to pick it up. At 3:01 a.m., I did the dumbest thing you can do in a story like this. I went to the door. I checked the lock. Then I slid the chain across. My hands moved too fast, too clumsy. I pressed my ear to the door, listening. Nothing. I stepped back and waited for 3:09 like it was an execution time. At 3:09 a.m., the chain rattled. Not hard, not yanked, just tested. The doorknob turned slowly, the latch clicked, then stopped. Silence. 10 seconds, then very softly a knock. 3 taps. Not a landlord knock, not a neighbor knock. A polite knock, like someone following rules. My phone buzzed, a new motion alert. Motion detected 3:19 a.m. I didn't open it. I didn't want to see what I'd do next. But the buzzing kept going, like it was insisting. I opened the clip. It showed me in the hallway again, standing in front of my door, holding a key, not my keychain, a single key. The same key I'd seen on the floor earlier. In the clip, I lifted it toward the lock, like I was about to unlock my own door from the inside. The clip ended. I stared at the screen. My breathing went shallow. I looked down at my hands. Empty. No key. I backed away from the door. I sat on the floor, pressing my back against the wall, eyes fixed on the lock. At 3:11 a.m., my phone buzzed again. A text. Don't fight it. My heart slammed. I typed back. What happens at 3:19? 3 dots appeared. Then, you open the door. At 3:17 a.m., everything went quiet. Not just outside, inside. The apartment felt muted, like someone had turned the volume down on reality. My phone clock read 3:17 and my stomach flipped because of how familiar that number was. I stared at the door chain, the keyhole, the deadbolt, the handle. I was waiting for my body to betray me. At 3:18 a.m., my hands tingled, pins and needles like they were falling asleep. At 3:19 a.m., I stood up. I didn't choose to. My legs moved like they'd been given a command. I walked to the door. My phone was in my hand again, but I didn't remember picking it up. The camera app was open, front camera, my face on the screen, and my expression wasn't fear, it was concentration. Like I was listening to instructions only I could hear. My hand raised. A key was between my fingers. I hadn't grabbed it. It was just there. I stared at it like it belonged to someone else. My hand inserted it into the lock. Turned. The deadbolt clicked open. The chain still held. My other hand reached up and slid the chain aside. I tried to stop it. I tried to scream. My throat wouldn't open. My fingers moved smoothly, calmly, like a person who'd done this before. The door opened. The hallway outside was empty. No tall figure, no stretched outline, no head tilt. Just a normal building corridor under dim emergency lighting. I stood in the doorway, phone held up at face level like I was recording. Then my phone screen flickered, a glitch, a tearing in the picture like a broken VHS. For half a second, my face on the screen wasn't mine. It was older, skin sagging, eyes dull, mouth too still, like a mask that forgot how to smile. Then it snapped back. I blinked, and I realized the camera wasn't showing the front camera anymore. It was showing a live feed from above my front door, high angle, looking down the hallway, a camera I did not own. The feed showed me standing outside my apartment door, facing it, holding my phone up at face level, recording. But it also showed something else. Inside my apartment behind me, the shadow of a second person, standing just out of view, close enough that if I took one step back, I'd bump into them. My phone buzzed. A call. Incoming call. Me. The ringing sounded far away, like it wasn't coming from my phone, like it was coming from the hallway, from behind me. I turned my head slightly and heard a whisper near my ear. 10 minutes is generous. Then the hallway lights flickered and the feed glitched. A black screen, a pause, just long enough to feel like the world blinked. When the picture returned, I was no longer in the doorway. I was walking down the hall, following someone. The live feed captured their shape ahead of me, tall, wrong proportions. Shoulders too narrow, arms too long, head tilted, and as it moved like it was trying to remember how to be human. My phone slipped in my hand. The screen cracked against the wall. The live feed broke into static. Then it cut out entirely. I blinked, and I was back in my apartment, standing in the hallway, my front door closed, locked, chained, like it had never opened. My phone in my hand showed a new saved clip, time-stamped 3:27 a.m. Title: Entry 17, 10 minutes ahead. I didn't create that title. I didn't save that clip. But when I hit play, the video showed me lying asleep in bed from the corner of the room near the dresser, and the timestamp in the corner said 3:17 a.m. Then the bedroom door opened slightly, and a tall silhouette leaned into the crack, and a voice whispered soft, amused, right into the microphone. Let's do it again.
This has been an entry from the Absol archives. If you'd like to hear the next one, subscribe. It's free. And you can always leave